The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Altana walked to the center podium, her boots echoing against the crystalline floor. 200 species watched her, some with curiosity, others with barely concealed contempt. Humans were the newest members, admitted only 5 cycles ago, and already they were causing problems. You dare address this council without permission? High Arbiter Zexthor clicked his mandibles in disgust. His chitinous frame towered over the holographic displays showing Earth's defensive fleet. Altana smiled, though it didn't reach her eyes. With respect, High Arbiter, we've been requesting an audience for 3 standard months. You've ignored every diplomatic channel, so yes, I dare. Beside her console, Ace shifted uncomfortably. As her military attaché, he'd seen that smile before, right before things went sideways. He'd warned her this approach was dangerous, but Altana never listened when she knew she was right. The matter is settled, Zexthor continued. Earth will surrender 70% of its agricultural output to the Confederation. Your planet's resources are needed for the greater good. Greater good, Altana repeated softly. That's what you called it when you stripped the Velen homeworld. When you conscripted the Droth population for labor colonies, the greater good seems to only benefit Council species. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. No one spoke to the Council this way. Not if they valued their civilization's survival. Ace activated his neural link, pulling up the data Altana had compiled. 300 years of Galactic Council history. A pattern of exploitation masked as benevolent governance. Humanity had noticed what others either accepted or feared to mention. You forget your place, human, a Vraxian delegate hissed through their translator. Your species has been in space for barely 2 centuries. We have maintained order for millennia. Order, Altana said, her voice carrying across the chamber. Is that what you call it? Because from where we stand, it looks like tyranny with better marketing. Zexthor's eyes darkened. You test our patience. Perhaps humanity requires a reminder of galactic realities. Arbiter Krell, authorize a Class 3 sanctions package. Earth will learn respect. Ace felt his jaw tighten. Class 3 meant orbital blockades, communication blackouts, economic strangulation. It had broken 12 species before. He glanced at Altana, but she stood perfectly still, waiting. Before you do that, she said quietly, I should tell you something about humans. Something we've been trying to explain for 5 years now, but you haven't been listening. We do not require lectures from primitives, Zexthor snapped. Altana's smile widened, and this time Ace saw the steel behind it. See, that's the problem. You think because we're new, we're weak. Because we ask nicely, we're pushovers. You've mistaken our restraint for inability. She activated her own console, and suddenly the chamber's displays changed. Images flooded every screen. Human history, uncensored and unfiltered. War spanning millennia, weapons that could split atoms, conflicts that consumed entire continents, species that had gone extinct by human hands. Not through malice, but through negligence or competition. For 200,000 years, Altana continued, her voice steady. Humans have been perfecting one skill above all others, organized violence. We've fought each other with stones, with steel, with fire from the sky. We've invented 10,000 ways to kill, and we got so good at it that we nearly destroyed ourselves a dozen times. Ace watched the council members shifting uncomfortably. The images kept coming. Mushroom clouds, battlefields, genocide, warfare on scales that made their minor border conflicts look like children's squabbles. And then, Altana said, we learned something. We learned that our capacity for destruction was so vast, so terrible, that we had to change or die. So we made a choice. We decided to be better. We built a unified government. We ended war on our homeworld. We reached for the stars not as conquerors but as explorers. She paused, letting her words sink in. But here's what you need to understand. Choosing peace isn't the same as being incapable of war. When we joined this council, we came in good faith. We followed your rules. We said please and thank you, and we tried to work within your systems. And every single time you've mistaken that courtesy for weakness. Zexthor leaned forward. Is this a threat? It's a warning, Altana replied. One we've been trying to give you since day one. Don't make us mad. Don't push us into a corner, because if you do, you'll learn why humanity spent 10,000 generations teaching ourselves to be civil. It's because we know exactly what happens when we're not. Ace uploaded the final file, humanity's current military capabilities. Not the sanitized version they'd submitted to the council, but the real one. Kinetic impactors that could shatter moons, viral weapons that could sterilize planets, AI-driven warfare systems that made decisions in nanoseconds, fusion bombs that made their ancestors' nuclear arsenals look like firecrackers. The council chamber erupted in chaos. "This violates every armament treaty," someone shouted. "Those treaties," Ace spoke for the first time, his voice cutting through the noise, "only apply to council members who voluntarily submit to inspection. You've refused to inspect our facilities for 4 years, claiming we weren't worth the effort." Altana raised her hand and silence fell again. "We don't want to use these weapons. We came to space hoping we'd never need them again. But if you try to starve Earth, if you blockade our system, if you threaten our people, you'll discover why our ancestors warned each other about sleeping giants." She turned to leave, then stopped. "We're not asking for dominance. We're not demanding tribute or territory. We just want to be left alone to live in peace. But peace is a choice we make, High Arbiter. It's not our default state. Remember that." As Altana and Ace walked out of the chamber, he leaned close and whispered, "Think they'll listen?" She glanced back at the frozen council members still staring at the weapons displays in horror. "They will now. Sometimes the only way to keep the peace is to make absolutely certain everyone understands the cost of breaking it." Behind them, the council convened an emergency session. The sanctions package was quietly shelved. A formal apology was drafted. And across the galaxy, species who had dismissed humanity as naive newcomers began recalculating their assumptions. The humans had been saying please all along. They'd been saying don't make us mad. They'd been warning everyone who would listen. The universe just hadn't been paying attention until now.